How you doing? How you been? What's going on? What's good? How you getting it in? Body getting it funny. What's going on, people? What's going on, people? It is the day of another day we call Sunday. And it would have been said, what's going on, people? Okay, let's get straight to it. I don't know if you knew about this, but there is a Pulse nightclub, which was in Orlando, Florida. And what happened was a gunman came in and started killing people. Now, it first reported that they were killed about 20 people, but as it sums up, it ended up being over 50 people murdered and 53 injured, wounded. And there's a lot of speculation going as far as, was it a hate crime? Did this person come from ISIC? You know, as far as, you know, killing the gays, because over in ISIS, they don't like gay people, and they, you know, do different things as far as sending the messages out to gay people. But I'm going to do the story at hand now. In case you know about this, we're going to go step by step so I give you an idea. Now, this is the Pulse nightclub. It was on Latin night, and it holds about 320 people. Now, this nightclub right here, okay, you see that, very beautiful on the inside. You know, they would have a Latin night. So a Latin night, this gunman by the name of Omar drove 1 hour and 45 minutes to get there to this nightclub, because he knew that it was going to be gay night. And this is how this whole thing inspired. Now, I don't know how it all began as far as what made him trigger, or, you know, it's a lot of speculation. They're going to try to find out, you know, exactly what happened, what made him just snap before, you know, going back into this type of act as far as he's doing. So they contacted his father to try to find, you know, some feedback as far as him, you know, what make your son want to kill, you know, to go out there and kill. So his father gave an explanation as far as he said that his father and him was driving, and he went on Bay Shore. You know, they were driving, and they was out by Bay Shore, and they had witnessed 2 men outside a club. And what he had noticed is that the father had said that his son had got angry because he saw 2 men kissing. And this is in Miami, you know, in Florida and stuff. So he became upset and stuff like that. He was like, they're kissing in front of my son and stuff like that, allegedly. This is what he said to happen. You know, and he became very upset behind this. So I don't know what they drove past this nightclub or whatever happened, you know, whatever triggered, but he went back to this nightclub, and like I said before, he drove 1 hour and 45 minutes to Pulse nightclub, and they would have a Latino night. And you have to realize one thing, this is around the time we're celebrating a lot as far as being the LGBT, you know, celebrating as far as, you know, loved ones and stuff like that. And so Omar, 29 years old. Now, I'm going to give you a rough draft as far as what happened. He got to the nightclub. There was security out there. Allegedly, he went in. Let me just read what I wrote here as far as the feedback, as far as that. Okay. Now, this happened around 2 a.m. in the morning. Now, of course, the club was starting to clear out. People were starting to pay their tab as far as been drinking and stuff, you know, and they was about to go home. And it was clearing out as far as that. People were paying their tab and stuff. So he came inside around 2 a.m. and they heard shots and stuff. And when they heard shots, they kind of thought it was just the music and stuff, because, you know, the music make a lot of noise and stuff like that. So they kind of put everything as far as that. But then they noticed that certain people wasn't getting back up as far as, you know, scrambling. So they were trying to figure out, you know, exactly what had happened. So they kind of listened to the music, and they was hearing this, you know, this noise as far as gunshots going on. So people started hearing it, and they started noticing that people wasn't getting back up. So they started people supposed to get back and they started hearing more shots.
Look at that, just shooting back and forth. That is crazy. Look at this. Let's go. Llama Alfredo. He's telling you to come. Oh my God, they're all shooting back and forth.
And they started getting more shots, and people started running. People started panicking. They ran as far as the kitchen. They ran into the bathrooms. And some people went into the bathroom to shoot, you know, like they got the vents and stuff to try to get up out of there. And they kept hearing the shooting and shooting and stuff like that. And, you know, here's a brief idea as far as a person that was a witness inside of the nightclub was telling this story.
He walked to the club. In his possession, he had an AR-15 assault-style rifle, a handgun, and began shooting. He was encountered by a uniformed Orlando police officer who was working as security. He engaged Mateen in a firefight. It didn't end there, though. Mateen continued, and there was a 3-hour hostage standoff. At 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time there in Orlando, the decision was made to send in the SWAT team, at which point Mateen was killed, but not before taking 50 lives of people out at a nightclub on Saturday night. Mateen was born in 1986, 29 years old, as Pete said, lived in Port St. Lucie, Florida, a United States citizen born in New York. Authorities are looking into whether or not he had radical influences. Officials say it is being investigated as a domestic act of terror. Over the last hour or so, we've been talking to some eyewitnesses, people who were inside the club as this act of terror, as this horror swept through the club. I spoke with Joshua McGill. He was a witness to the shooting and helped rescue people last night. I began by asking him where he was when the shooting started.
My two roommates and I were in the very corner of the main bar near the patio exit. So it's like basically there's an outdoor bar, and we were kind of next to the door to leading to the out. When the shooter happened, we didn't see anything, and we didn't really think it was a shooting at first because we didn't see, no one seemed to really be frantic. But then we still all kind of ducked in a loud noise. But we crept outside to the back patio area, gathered our thoughts, and then we heard a couple more gunshots, and that's when we saw people running, saying, you know, there's a gun, there's a shooter, and then people are hopping over the back patio fence to run away. At this time, there's police already setting up perimeters for like safe zones, etc. My roommates and I actually originally ran into the Pulse employee area, which was like a back door, and we were kind of hiding out in there, and then we heard shooting get closer from inside, so we ran back out, and that's when we hopped the fence. When we hopped the fence, my two roommates bolted. I was still a little staggering because it was a high fence for me to, you know, jump over. During my run across the parking lot, I did hear some more shooting, and it kind of frightened me. So my first instinct was to jump behind a car and duck. During that process is when I just decided to crawl under the car, and I just waited it out. Once the shooting got further from what it sounded like, I, you know, kind of gave a peek around and crawled out. That's when I noticed, I guess, another club goer. He was kind of staggering. I noticed he was covered in blood, and I kind of like crept over to him and then was like, hey, I'm here to help you. What's going on? We crept back, hid behind the car. He was like, I think I got shot. And it did turn out he got shot once in one arm and once again in the other arm. My first instinct was, we got to stop the bleeding man and get you to the hospital or get you to the nearest police officer. And so I took my shirt off and then tied it around his first arm to stop the bleeding. And then I asked if I can have his shirt so I can tie it around his other arm. And then he then went ahead to complain of a pain on his back, and it turned out he got shot again on his back. So I was like, you know, we got to get you to a safe zone and then to the hospital to control this bleeding, etc. So we did that, and then we kind of like dodged and weaved through the parking lot, got to the safe zone. The officer told us to stay down, stay down. Another standby person was just, you know, kind of ducking over across the street. I was like, hey, I need another shirt because he has another open wound and I need to apply pressure. At that point, the officer was like, we're going to escort you guys to the ER through a police car. He's like, he's like, I want you to lay down and then I want to throw him on top of you so that way I can kind of bear hug him and make sure everything's like tightened so he doesn't bleed out as much. During the rush over to the ER, the police officers were just basically like, keep him conscious, keep talking to him. So that's how I got his name. I was like, hey, what's your name? You're going to be okay. I'm Josh. He was like, I'm Rodney. I was like, where are you from? How old are you? He's like 27, Jacksonville, Florida. I was like, any siblings? Who do you live with? He's like, my brother. And I, told him I'm from Mississippi originally. I'm 26, etc. I told him everything's going to be okay. And in that, like, we're almost to the ER. I told him, I was like, I'm not sure if you're religious or not, but I want to say a prayer for you and make sure that you're okay. And then I'm not sure if his mumbling was a prayer or not, or if he was just delusional, but we got to the ER pretty quick. I helped him get him out of the car and onto a stretcher, and that was that. I waited around forever at the hospital. They wouldn't give me any information. I didn't even know his last name last night at all. It turns out that my Facebook post has gone viral, and it turns out one of his friends that he was with commented, and I reached out to them. I got his last name. It is Sumter, Sumter. And then they got in touch with his family, and they gave me an update that, yes, he was shot, and yes, he is stable. So that's as far as I know, is that he is fine. So I hope he stays fine and stays in a stable state and that he comes out, quickly.
Okay, you see that? It's really sad and stuff, and they restrained gunfire as far as, once they got out and stuff, Joshua had saw that it was a guy, he couldn't get over the fence as far as, himself, because he was having a hard time, but I noticed that, it was a guy that was that came out after him. He helped him and stuff, he had been shot and stuff, he was stabbing, so Joshua, a hero, of course, helped save the guy's life. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but I'm going to give you a rough idea. I'm going to tell you exactly who Omar is. Okay, he's 29 years old, and he had an assault rifle, a handgun, and a possible explosive. He had also a suicide vest on. So basically, when they were going to fire back, clearly, he was going to take himself, into the arms when I guess he kind of figured that it's going to be a suicide type of thing. When they started trying to shoot back, he was going to try to kill as many as possible. So the police and everything got there very quickly. It was also a SWAT team. And the people that was in, I guess the owners and stuff, was inside the Pulse nightclub, and they sent out a tweet letting people know to everyone, get out and keep running. You see that? And the mayor has sent it as a state of emergency. Now, I don't know about this, but Omar, this is the things I think you need to know about him as far as who he is or who he was. Because he's been murdered. Well, he's been murdered, he's been killed. He did a lot of murdering as far as 50 people, like I said before. Parents and everybody was outside looking for them. In fact, let me just show you this. Let me let you see the horrific scene that was out there as far as what he's done, Omar. Check this out. You see that? so many people out there and stuff, people running and people, scared and people crying and, just devastating news. So this is a little rough draft in reference to Omar, who this person was behind the gun, the killer. Okay. They're learning that he had some type of radicals in reference to Islam, and has reported, he was being reported, they was reporting him as far as they want to find out, who he was, because he was reported to be linked to, remember the the bombing that he killed the joggers and stuff out there. So they wanted to find that he had some type of link in reference to them that they got, that was out there as far as the bombing and stuff. So they had started doing an investigation, kept a watch on him because they want to find out, they didn't think of him as far as, being as far as a terrorist, but when they keep their eyes on him, they was kind of doing an investigation on him. And he was the target as of 2 federal investigations. Now, this is allegedly, because right about now you have to understand, it is going to be a lot of speculation, so I'm only going to tell you as far as what I've learned, and this is going to be a lot of speculation, so it's also allegedly, because everything is still up on investigation. Like I said before, this is day 1, which is Sunday, and this happened last night around 2 a.m. and it went all the way up until 5 in the morning. And there was a police person that was out there fighting as far as trying to kill him, and he was definitely firing back as well as, he was firing at the police and the SWAT and stuff. And one of the SWAT men that was out there, the SWAT army that was out there, actually got hit in the head with one of his bullets, see? But he had his helmet and stuff that saved his life and stuff. And this is kind of a little questionable thing, but I also got this. It's a he exchanged firearms with the police outside the club before going inside. So I don't know as far as he was already shooting outside or not. Like I said before, there's a lot of speculation. It means that there's going to be a whole bunch of everything. Everybody's going to be saying a lot of different things, but when the smoke clear, I'm sure everything is going to let us know exactly more accurate stuff. But basically, everybody's just gathering up evidence, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to know exactly as far as we've gotten as far as the message of letting you know what's actually going on. So, like I said before, working me here, like I said before, they said he took hostages as far as, inside the nightclub, basically, because he wasn't letting them out unless he killed them. He was killed by a SWAT team in an effort to save the hostage. And also, once they found out, who he was and stuff, they went to his parents' house and they started going around.
Law enforcement officers are at the parents' home of Orlando shooter Omar, suspect believed to have been responsible for the Orlando massacre that occurred Saturday evening.
Okay. They're at his parents' house. They want to get more information about who this guy is, and I guess they want to find out if his parents is in on this whole thing. But it's horrible, and this is going down as the most deadly shooting in history. The nightclub and stuff. So, like I said before, it's a lot more information that's going to be going out there. And he was 29 years old, Omar Mateen, and his father said, that's his father, of course. He said he apologized for what his son has done and stuff, but he said his son is not affiliated with the ISIS thing. But like I said before, that's a lot of speculation, and that is his son. So I'm sure at some point he's not going to really say everything he wants to say. But I'm sure he's also maybe a little bit shocked as well. But like I said before, it's a lot of speculation. I don't know, but I'm going to report everything as far as I know, as far as what I've read. And it's also trying to, like I said before, people are trying to say it's a terrorist act and stuff like that, but like I said before, it's still up in the air as far as that. However, rest in peace, 50 dead, 53 wounded, and people were actually helping, the club goers, that was hurt in this act of attack. And rest in peace for the ones who lost their lives, and like I said before, and thank you for everybody who helped out there as far as the nightclub, and you help your brothers and sisters out there. Like I said, this is very horrific and it's very devastating. And it's really sad because we know we live in the world where everybody's not going to agree with certain people's lifestyle, but to take a form of act as far as hate. This is definitely a hate crime, and he thought it out and he acted on it, and you know, it's a lot going on. But like I said before, I'm just going to give you a little idea as far as what's going on in case you didn't know. I'm just giving you an idea as far as happening. I'm not going to do much speculation. I'm not going to add too many comments and stuff until everything is clear. And like I said before, they're trying to say it's ISIS as far as, you know, because ISIS hate gay people. I made a video about this before, about they threw the gay guy off the roof. We talked about this before, you know, and the sad part about it, as trans, we already know the hate crime exists, but, you know, to this degree to travel that far, and, you know, and the sad part about it, if you're going out to these gay clubs, and, you know, just be more careful as far as this thing, and I'm not saying that you could have done anything, but the thing about it is that it's, I hate to say this, but it's almost like a sitting ducks, you know, because the thing about it is that it could be a copycat type of thing, and the thing about it is that, you know, just keep your eye open, and things don't look right, just hurry and get up out of there. Just hurry and get up out of there. Grab your friends and point people out as far as you can. If you see somebody holding a gun, or you see somebody acting crazy, you see something going wrong, get out of there. If you could tell people or grab people and pull people, whatever you got to do. But it's a situation where, you know, it's almost a damn if you do, damn if you don't. And, you know, the sad part about it, people is having a good time, and I'm sure there was drinking involved, and people are really not aware of what's going on. And, you know, it's just horrific. Like I said before, I'm not going to speculate anything, but, you know, just be careful as much as you can. And I'm going to try to follow the story as far as much as I can. But I love you, and I want you to be safe. And like I said before, I'll let you know as much as I can possibly can. It's, like I said before, it's really going to be a lot of speculation. So just wait till everything's clear before you get on to the they did it and stuff, because people are really not sure, and everybody wants answers. And, you know, he even came in with explosives and stuff. They said he had explosives on him, and, you know, but that's still up in the air as well. They said possibly. So, like I said before, we have to wait till everything clear, and we'll find out what actually happened. But anyway, be safe. I love you, and thank you for watching. Catch the read. Until we meet again.